God's favorite children. This is Rick, the speaker, with the peace that gives you peace, or the peace that gets you thinking. A question for you, real quick. There is a phrase: sharing is caring. Yeah, of course. Sharing is caring. We share, we care. We share, we show love. That is true. That is true. Sharing is caring. The question is, to what extent do we share? To what extent do we share? Even though sharing is caring, but to what extent do we share? And what do we share? And what don't we share? Sharing is caring, but to what extent do we share? And what do we share? And what don't we share? Do we share to an extent that we remain empty? Do we share to an extent that we give entry to just have access, because those who take us don't have limits? You will give and give and give to an extent that now you don't have anything to give. Do we share to that extent of emptiness? Or do we share to what extent? Or to what extent do we stop sharing? Sharing is caring. Do we share to an extent that now we don't care? Do we share to an extent that now we look the same? Because, sharing is caring. And the question was before that, what do we share and what don't we share? Do we share to an extent that now we look identical? Because people share too much. People share clothes, people share cologne, people share perfumes, that, people share rooms, people share beddings, people share everything, people share clothes. To what extent do we share? What don't we share? And what do we share? Do we share to an extent that we look the same, that you lose your identity? Do we share to an extent that, you smell the same, you share the same cologne, share the same perfume, that you smell the same, you lose your identity? Your identity apart from your name, who you are, your signature smell is your identity. Do you share to an extent that you share a room, you share bed, you share clothes, you share perfume, you share lotion, you share everything, that when you leave, it's obvious, it's normal. People will not differentiate between you and somebody else. To what extent do we share? And what don't we share? Do we share to an extent that we lose everything? We remain empty? Do we share to an extent that we lose our identity? To what extent do we share? And what do we share? And what don't we share? This is the piece that got you thinking with Rick, the speaker. Share with me. What have you shared that got you into a situation? What can't you share? And what have you shared that, made you decide that you will always share or you will never share? Or what was shared with you that, changed you? Or what did you share that changed you? And what kind of a change is it, or was it? To what extent did you share? What happened with you? In the name of sharing, share with me. This is Rick, the speaker, with the piece that got you thinking. Hello and salute, beautiful child of God. This one of sharing. This one of sharing. You know, and then you, okay, anyway, talk to me, beautiful children of God. What can't you share? Or what did you ever share that got you into a situation? Because some people, they just take advantage. You share once and now they don't care. They just want you to share. What can you share? What do you share? To what extent do you share? What have you ever shared? Sharing is caring. To what extent do you share? What do you share? And what don't you share? Rick the speaker.